Welcome back to Culture Code English. I am so glad you are here today. Take a slow, deep breath. Let your shoulders drop. Get completely comfortable and relax. Today, we are going to explore a very unique, warm, and highly practical American phenomenon: the obsession with other people's trash, commonly known as the garage sale. Imagine this. You wake up early on a warm Saturday morning in a quiet, tree-lined American suburb. You decide to take a gentle walk down the street to enjoy the fresh morning air. But as you look at your neighbors' houses, you see a highly bizarre sight. On almost every lawn, people are carrying plastic tables out of their garages. They are laying out old, worn-out board games, mismatched coffee mugs, colorful children's clothes, vintage record players, and stacks of dusty books. In some yards, there are even handwritten cardboard signs pointing toward the grass that say, "Yard sale today," or "Garage sale, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m." If you come from a culture where selling used personal items is seen as a sign of financial struggle, this sight can be deeply confusing. You might think, are all my neighbors going broke? Why are these highly successful, wealthy families selling their old, useless things on their front lawns for 50 cents or $1? But please, do not misunderstand. In the United States, hosting a garage sale or a yard sale is not a sign of poverty. In fact, it is a proud, centuries-old middle-class ritual. It is a celebratory event of decluttering, neighborhood socializing, and environmental awareness. America is a land of massive houses, giant garages, and abundance. Because homes are large, Americans love to buy things. But after several years, the closets get full, the attic gets heavy, and the garage becomes crowded with things that are no longer used. Instead of throwing these perfectly good items into the trash, Americans do something highly practical. They open their front-zones to the community. There is a very famous and beautiful English proverb that perfectly captures the philosophy behind this tradition. One man's trash is another man's treasure. What is completely useless to you might be exactly what your neighbor has been searching for. And the front lawn becomes the magical stage where these treasures find a second life. It is a beautiful, informal market where no one is judged. Everyone is welcome, and the true currency is not money, but conversation and connection. Let us explore the deep psychological and cultural code behind this tradition. At the center of every garage sale is a powerful mental shift called decluttering. Decluttering is the physical and emotional act of letting go of the past to make room for the future. In a world where buying new things is incredibly easy, our homes quickly accumulate layers of memories that we no longer need. The baby toys your children outgrew years ago. The novels you read once and never opened again. The extra coffee mugs in the back of your cupboard, or the old bicycle sitting silently in your garage. If you throw these items into a trash can, it feels like a waste. It feels like you are destroying a piece of your own history. But a garage sale changes the narrative. It gives you a beautiful way to pass your memories along to someone who will cherish them. It is the practical application of the famous English proverb, "One man's trash is another man's treasure." You stop seeing your old items as worthless junk. Instead, you see them as potential treasures waiting for their new owners. Let me tell you about Emily. Emily had lived in her suburban home in Ohio for 5 years. Her attic and her garage were completely overflowing with things she no longer used. She felt heavy and stressed whenever she opened her storage doors. Finally, Emily decided to host her very first garage sale. On Friday night, she carried boxes down from her attic. She laid out a stack of old novels, a collection of mismatched ceramic coffee mugs, her children's old plastic toys, and a vintage brass desk lamp that did not work properly. She wrote small price tags on sticky notes, 50 cents for the mugs, $1 for the books, and $3 for the broken lamp. She thought to herself, "Nobody is going to buy this old junk. I will probably have to throw it all away tomorrow afternoon." But on Saturday morning at 7:30, before she was even fully ready, the first cars began pulling up to her driveway. These early shoppers are called early birds. They are experienced treasure hunters who wake up early to find the best deals. To Emily's absolute shock, her junk began to disappear immediately. A young college student bought all of her mismatched coffee mugs. He smiled and told her, "I am moving into my very first apartment today, and I do not have much money. These mugs are so unique and beautiful. They are perfect for my new kitchen." A few hours later, a handyman noticed her broken brass lamp. He looked at it with excitement. "I love fixing vintage lamps," he told Emily. "This brass is beautiful. I will fix the wire this afternoon, and it will sit proudly on my work desk." By 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Emily's driveway was empty. Her attic was light and clean. Her pockets were filled with small dollar bills and change. But more importantly, her heart was filled with an unexpected sense of joy. She realized that the items that were quietly suffocating her attic had brought genuine happiness, excitement, and utility to her neighbors. Emily learned that a garage sale is not just about making a few extra dollars. It is about the beautiful circular economy of sharing, letting go, and letting life flow forward. Let us explore the third part of our blueprint: how the garage sale acts as an informal neighborhood social center. In our busy modern lives, neighborhoods can sometimes feel silent. People drive their cars into their private garages, close their doors, and live inside their private compartments. You might walk past your neighbor's house every single day, wave politely, but never actually have a real conversation with them. But a garage sale changes everything. For one Saturday morning, it turns a private driveway into a temporary public square. It invites the community to step onto your property, walk up your driveway, and look at your personal items. And because they are looking at things that used to belong to you, it naturally opens the door for warm, low-stakes conversations. A neighbor who has lived down the street for 3 years stops by to look at a box of old vinyl records. You strike up a conversation. "Oh, you like jazz? Me too. I bought that record in New Orleans 10 years ago." Another neighbor looks at your old bicycle. "Did your son ride this? My grandson is just learning how to ride." Suddenly, you are not just selling an item, you are sharing a memory, exchanging local news, and building a bridge of connection. The garage sale becomes a social excuse to pause, smile, and get to know the human beings who live right next to you. The transaction itself also involves a unique social game called haggling, or polite bargaining. In many wholesale markets around the world, Bargaining is a high-pressure, intense negotiation, but at an American garage sale, haggling is gentle, friendly, and almost playful. It is a social dance where both sides win. If an old book is priced at $2, a buyer might smile and ask, "Would you take $1 for this?" And the seller, who just wants the book to go to a good home, will usually reply, "How about $1.50? Deal." This friendly negotiation is a way of building connection. The seller gets to see their item go to someone who genuinely appreciates it, and the buyer feels the thrill of finding a treasure. Most sellers do not care about the extra 50 cents. They care about the smile on the buyer's face. Through these tiny, friendly transactions, the quiet suburban driveway is transformed. It becomes a warm place of neighborhood laughter, shared stories, and community connection. You realize that the real value of a garage sale is not the money you collect in your cash box, but the relationships you build on your front lawn. Let us explore the fourth part of our blueprint: the circular economy and middle-class pride. Many people who are new to American culture are shocked when they visit wealthy neighborhoods. They drive through beautiful, expensive suburbs with massive houses, manicured green lawns, and luxury cars. And yet, on Saturday morning, these wealthy families are sitting on their lawns, selling old children's books for 25 cents or a vintage chair for $5. Why do they do this? If they have so much money, why do they waste their Saturday morning selling used items for tiny amounts of cash? The answer lies in a deep cultural pride in sustainability and the circular economy. In the United States, throwing away perfectly good, usable items is considered highly irresponsible. It is seen as a waste of resources and a burden on the earth. There is a strong, proud belief in the middle class that items should have a second, a third, or even a fourth life. Furthermore, buying used items is not seen as shameful in America. In fact, it is considered highly cool, smart, and trendy, especially among younger generations. This culture is called thrifting or vintage hunting. When an American teenager buys a vintage leather jacket from a neighbor's garage sale, or when a young couple buys a solid wood dining table from a yard sale, they do not feel poor. They feel proud. They feel like they have saved money, found something unique, and protected the environment at the same time. Hosting a garage sale is a badge of honor. It tells your neighbors, "I am a responsible, practical, and environmentally conscious member of this community. I am taking care of my home, and I am sharing my resources with others." It is a celebration of the simple life. In a society that is constantly telling people to buy more, buy new, and buy now, the garage sale is a peaceful, beautiful protest. It is a moment where neighbors look at each other's older, pre-loved items and say, "This still has value. This can still bring joy." By understanding this cultural code, you stop seeing the garage sale as a simple marketplace for cheap things. You realize it is a proud middle-class ritual of sustainability practicality, and community care. It is a beautiful piece of the American puzzle. How can you use this knowledge to navigate an American garage sale? First, approach it with curiosity and an open heart. When you walk onto a neighbor's lawn on a Saturday morning, do not be shy. Smile and say, "Good morning." Look around slowly. Do not expect to find perfect, brand new items. Instead, look for the unique story behind each object. If you find something you love and you want to practice your polite bargaining skills, you can use these simple, warm English phrases. Is this price negotiable? Would you take $3 for this? How about $5 for both of these books? Most sellers will gladly agree with a big smile because they are just happy to see their cherished items go to someone who will use and appreciate them. Enjoy the experience. Have a pleasant, light conversation with the owner. Ask them, "Where did you get this vintage clock?" Or, "What is the story behind this painting?" This is the real joy of the garage sale. It is not just a commercial transaction. It is a warm, human connection. Look how far you have already come in this video. You have been listening to this real, natural, and deep English story for many minutes now. You did not have subtitles on, and yet, you followed the narrative effortlessly. Your ears are naturally adapting to the speed, the intonation, and the flow of the language. You are doing an amazing job. Be patient with your brain. Language learning is not a sprint. It is like watching a beautiful oak tree grow. Every story you listen to, every cultural blueprint you explore, and every minute you spend here is quietly building your ear muscles and making you a stronger, more confident English thinker. Consistency is the ultimate key to success. You do not need to study for hours until you feel completely exhausted. Just 10 or 15 minutes of active, quiet listening every single day is enough to create extraordinary results over time. If you enjoy discovering the secret history of the American garage sale today, and if you are ready to make mindful listening a normal part of your daily English journey, I want you to make a simple, beautiful promise to yourself. Leave a small mark of your progress in the comments below right now. Type, "I am learning every day" in the comments. By writing these 5 words, you are telling your brain that you are growing. You are celebrating a small victory on your path to natural fluency. Thank you so much for spending this peaceful, meaningful time learning with me today on Culture Code English. Keep listening, keep practicing with patience, and never lose your curiosity. I look forward to exploring another beautiful piece of our world with you very soon. Have a wonderful, relaxing evening and keep using English every single day.